I am Clara Capano, and welcome back to Be Productive. As business owners and leaders, we need to make sure we are making smart decisions and also protecting our business interests. Today, what I want to share with you in our next segment is the importance of being compliant, especially when it comes to our money, our bookkeeping, and our accounting. So, to share with us some tips and strategies, we have an expert in this field. We have Nora coming to the stage again. Nora, thank you so much for being here. You have been in the business for over 20 years, and you really know the things that we need to think of to make sure that we are being compliant. So welcome here, and thanks for sharing time with us today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I love having you here because, again, we love to talk about money and how being more productive can make us money. But, we have to start thinking smart about what we're doing. And the first question I have for you is, talk to me about staying compliant and how doing real-time accounting and bookkeeping is going to help us on our ability to stay compliant.
So there's a lot of things that you have to do as a business owner. First, you need to actually know what's your business structure. Is it an LLC? Is it an S Corp? Is it a C Corp? This is what the start of what do you need to do. Also, you need to actually know your profit. How much are you making in order to know if you have to pay estimated taxes in a quarterly basis, because what most businesses have to, but this is also depends on how much money you made. So a lot of people think they have to pay taxes on revenue, while no, your revenue, your sales, no, this is not the income. This is you have to deduct all expenses. I'm just gonna say in general, like just to simplify this, I'm not gonna go into the details what you're gonna deduct, but revenue minus expenses, the profit, that is what you want to pay taxes on. So IRS does not like you to keep those taxes until the end of the year. So think about if you are an employee, you have your W-2, and your employer are responsible to actually pay those estimated taxes on your behalf. So IRS getting those taxes in real time. So if you got the correct deductions, you shouldn't owe a lot of taxes at the end of the year. Ideally, they want you to owe zero. They don't want to give you money or take money from you. But a lot of people think they, like they get excited if they're gonna actually get money. We're all get excited, but you don't want to have that situation. Now for business owner, mostly you're gonna pay money, right? Unless you have kids, like it depends on your actually other income, your marital status, you have kids or not, what's other situation in your personal level. So if you're gonna owe taxes, you shouldn't be owing more than $1,000 when it's the time comes to actually file your taxes. If you owe more, you might actually pay penalty, you might pay interest just because you did not file your estimated taxes. And I shouldn't say file, actually pay, because there is nothing to file. There's like just form to help you actually calculate that. And also, you can avoid paying a lot of even estimated taxes. How you do some tax planning, see if you can invest this money in a better way. It's going to help you, like, invest in yourself, in your business, save taxes, know if you still want to owe taxes, just pay as much as you have to pay, not more than what you have to pay. Because we want to be good, pay our taxes, but we don't want to pay just so much while we can actually utilize that in business. It's going to be better for everyone if we utilize that at your personal level or in business. There's a lot of strategies you can utilize, but if you do not do bookkeeping, that's the foundation for everything. You cannot really do any of that.
Yeah. I sometimes think of it as a puzzle. It's like there's so many pieces that can go together. And sometimes, again, we don't understand that we can actually spend money, but it's a good place to put the money because it'll have tax benefits down the road. And so that's why, again, having an expert like yourself is so important. What are some of the best practices that you think business owners and leaders should be taking to help protect themselves along the way?
So first, like when you have an accountant or bookkeeper or whatever, make sure actually you report everything to them. Because if I have a client that does not give me the information, there's no way for me to know the information. I won't be able to know, like, if they spend something outside of their bank account or like maybe in cash, or they opened a new bank account they did not tell me about, or maybe a credit card, or I took the loan they did not tell me about, there's no way for me to help them. Then I'm doing their bookkeeping, but I don't have full picture. So I'm not going to have an accurate information that's going to benefit them. It's going to be wrong. So if your input is wrong, your output is wrong. So if they don't tell me, I have no way to know. So they have to report to their accountant and bookkeeping, whatever they're doing. They need to report every single thing, no matter small or big. They have to actually make sure they have a good record keeping system. Keep every single receipt, have a note for everything. For example, you went for a business lunch, you want to write down how much did you spend, who did you actually spend time with, why, what's the purpose, and who's that person, and what did you discuss, just so you can deduct it. So and meals, for example, you cannot deduct everything. Like we had like good 2 years where we were able to deduct 100%. Moving forward, we're gonna only have to deduct 50%, but still good, right? Can save you some money. And you want to make sure if there's an opportunity to save taxes. And this is, you need to have to be knowledgeable. You need to be actually preferably have tax accountant. So you can, some people, it's depending on your business, right? Like how much you can pay, like how many people you have in your team. You can have one person actually acting as the CFO, like your partner is the CFO, like, but instead of having someone pay 200K plus, you can have fractional CFO, which we do, like, for example, in my firm. And then that person can do everything from bookkeeping to tax planning to everything. Or you can have maybe like someone doing bookkeeping, another person who you just consult as like if you want to make a decision few times a year just to make sure you're in a good place. And you want to make sure to, again, to consult before every big decisions, at least. So if you're buying something, if you're making a new hire, you want to make sure you can afford that. So you need to plan accordingly and look at your data.
Yeah. And I think, again, where some people get mistaken is the way that they did something last year, things might have changed. And, it's not always apples to apples. And there's so many other things that we need to take into account and examine on how they, help us. So talk to us about, what are some of the things a really good bookkeeper, a professional like yourself, looks for as far as helping us to identify what we can use as deductions and write-offs and all of those things.
So I'd like to start that with, people have to distinguish between bookkeeper, just basic bookkeeper, or someone who can do more. For example, like even like that, someone who can do more, you have to look at what actually service are you subscribing for. So if you're subscribing just to do bookkeeping, you're not going to get more than that, because everything like costs money and everything for the person. So you want to make sure, like my recommendation always for people, to get like more of advisory service in addition to bookkeeping. So at least in a compliance thing, tax planning is always recommended. Have it once a year and include it as something actually throughout the year. But anytime that you have something big you want to consult for, you want to distinguish between bookkeeper, accountants, and then tax accountants and CPA. See who's really knowledgeable of tax, because not everyone do taxes, not everyone do audit, for example. So just because you have a CPA, for example, because people are so much used to say CPA, even if they're not working with a CPA, a lot of people are not CPA. So, but CPA doesn't mean you're going to get the better service. Like some CPAs, like just doing audits, they don't want to do anything else, not their specialty to do something else. And you don't always need a CPA. You need someone who's informed always on actually tax code, because in my opinion, like having an effective bookkeeping is really knowing the tax code. So if someone is a basic bookkeeper, she needs to know basic stuff, like what business owners can deduct, at least those who have LLC, only because a lot of people have LLC now. Like there's a trend, people starting with S corp, which is a lot of issues there. They don't recognize why it shouldn't be S corp from the beginning, but it's very common. And the bookkeeper need to know and advise people like why they should or should not be an S corp, or at least work with an tax accountant herself, so she can have that advisory just to give the clients the tip on what they are what they should look for. Should they hire someone to help them with tax planning? What should they spend money on so they can actually benefit from taxes? But all of these, like, you need to ask, because sometimes, like, a lot of people goes to the bookkeeper now in December or January because they need to do taxes, right? So 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 it's a lot of business there for the bookkeepers. They're not going to have the same time for everyone to do. Usually, as for example, what I do for my business, and a lot of people are doing this, having some standard questionnaire, just identify some key area just to advise people what they need to have. So for example, if I have a client and they want to do just bookkeeping, I'll tell them what else they need, but then it's up to the client if they want to sign up for something else or not, because everything costs time and you have to diagnose totally different area. Like, you cannot really, you're not gonna spend the same amount of time if you're just doing bookkeeping, or if you're looking to advise the client on tax compliance and tax deduction.
I really appreciate you sharing that, because I think people do lump them all into one category. And you're right, there is different expertise and different levels of service. So really, again, sitting down and talking with them, because like you said, you may need other areas as well. And I know that as I started to grow my company, I needed a bookkeeper and being able to look at all those different avenues. So I think that that is so fantastic. So Noura, tell us, because I know that there's people out there that are going to want to, reach out and maybe learn more. Where can people reach out and learn more about you?
So they can go to my website, nourasbooks.com. They can go to contact us and book a Zoom call with me, and then we can get in the call and see how can I help them. And they can go, all my social media also, including YouTube, are on the link on the website, so they can also listen to a lot of free information I put every day.
I love that. So everyone, I want you to pay attention. Part of being productive, we want to encourage you to make more money. At the same time, we want you to retain as much of that money. So let's be smart with it. Get yourself a bookkeeper, a CPA, someone who's really going to guide you, like an expert like Noura, to make sure you are protecting yourselves and that you are leveraging the system so that they are supporting you in creating the business and the life that you want. So stay tuned. We'll be right back for more Be Productive in just a moment.